Hello and welcome to Online Cookery with Kate and Amelia.
Hi, today we're going to be making beef and black bean chilli. This is very similar to chili con carne, but it's made with black beans instead of kidney beans. These are smaller than kidney beans and they're probably easier for children to eat. Today we're going to be serving it with rice and sweet corn, but it's a really versatile recipe and you can ring the changes.
Great, let's get started.
For this recipe you will need beef mince, 1 large sweet potato, 1 pepper, black beans, chopped tomatoes, oil, 1 onion, chilli powder, a stock cube, ground cumin and some plain flour.
I'm going to start by preparing the vegetables. Please do be careful if you're using a sharp knife and your children are helping you. To start with, I'm going to prepare the onion, chop off both ends and peel it, and then cut it in half lengthways. Then you can place the cut side down on the chopping board and it stops it sliding around, especially if you're doing this with children. For the pepper, take out the top part, cut it in half lengthways, then quarter it and take out the inner white membranes and the seeds and then chop it finely. For the sweet potato, you need to start by peeling it, then it probably needs a bit of a wash. Sweet potato is quite tough to chop up, so this may be a job for the adults in the household. Chop it nice and finely, otherwise you'll have chunks that are a bit too big and won't cook in the time allocated. I've heated up a tablespoon of oil in a frying pan and now I'm going to add the onions and fry those until they're soft. That takes about 5 minutes. Now it's time to add the beef mince. It's important to break this up well and not leave it just as one big clump. And then you want to cook it until it's browned all over. I've made up 300 millilitres of beef stock with a beef stock cube and boiling water. And now the mince is browned, it's time to sprinkle in the flour. There's about a level tablespoon of plain flour here. Work that into the meat until you can't see the flour anymore. And then it's time to add the stock. Add this a little bit at a time and stir it well before adding the next bit. And that way it will thicken, but it won't become lumpy. Now it's time to add the spices. This is hot chili powder, so just take care if you're cooking with children that you don't add too much. You can always amend it at the end. Then some ground cumin. Then add the vegetables, the sweet potato and the pepper. I've drained and rinsed the black beans. And then finally a tin of chopped tomatoes. Give that a good stir around, bring it up to the boil, and then turn it down and simmer for about 20 minutes. Do keep an eye on it in case it just needs a splash more water. Don't let it go too dry or it'll burn on the bottom of the pan. So this has had 20 minutes. I've checked a piece of the sweet potato. It's not quite done yet, it's still got a little bit of a crunch to it, so I'm going to give it about another 10 minutes simmering on the stove. This has now had 30 minutes and I've checked the sweet potato to make sure it's thoroughly cooked. I said at the start that this is a really versatile recipe. You might want to omit the pepper and instead put in some courgette. You could finely chop it or grate it. That's really nice with it. Or add some mushrooms, for example. Ring the changes. Finally, don't forget to taste it and just check if the spice level is right for you. You might want to add a little bit more chilli powder.